my name is Gráinne Pollack. I'm the project manager for the Safe to Create Dignity at Work programme for the arts and creative sectors. So I'm aware there's a real mix of people in the room. I'm sure some of you may be aware of our work. We've also got a stand down the end of the room. You may have spoken to my colleague Jack already. If you don't know our work, I'm going to just talk you through our story to date and give you a bit of context about the work we're doing and tell you how you can engage with us on the work. So it's important just to give you a bit of context on the story to date. So Safe to Create basically started in 2017 following global allegations. The Me Too movement was a big catalyst for what followed. So it started with Speak Up, which the department at the time agreed to fund. It consisted of sectoral meetings, training programs, and a code of behaviour. So initially this was focused on the theatre sector, but some amazing artist campaign groups, including Misha Fusta, Fair Play and Safe Arts of Ireland, meant that it was broadened out to cover the entire sector. In 2021, Irish Theatre Institute led the first dedicated study analysing the actual on-the-ground experiences of arts and creative workers with harmful behaviours. So Speak Up, A Call for Change is the report that was published from this. It came out in 2021. Unfortunately, the findings were really stark, as you can see here. Just a little taster, so 53% of respondents had witnessed a dignity at work issue. A large majority had experienced bullying, harassment, sexual harassment, and intimidation. And 36%, really importantly, didn't feel comfortable asking for support. And crucially, 35% weren't aware of who they could go to if there were even any supports available. So in response, Minister Catherine Martin agreed to fund a suite of supports to tackle these harmful workplace behaviours. And the 5 recommendations that came out of the report became our work plan at Safe to Create. So the recommendations included building cross-sectoral support for change, strengthening reporting and support systems, pursuing consequences for non-compliance, building capacity to promote a dignified workplace culture, and investing in further research. And so we formed a working group. So the programme is directly funded by the department. It's managed by Irish Theatre Institute, ITI, and the working group consists of Mind and Creative Minds, the Arts Council, Screen Ireland, and the department themselves. We also have a suite of fantastic advisors and experts who feed into the work as and when we need them. We have a research team, and we have several different artist groups who we consult with on a regular basis just to get a kind of a temperature check of what's actually happening on the ground and how these behaviours are manifesting and developing and changing. So in late 2022, we rebranded as Safe to Create. The thinking behind this was really to take the onus off the individual artists on the ground who were having to put their heads above the parapet to constantly be the ones in the line of fire and to shift the responsibility essentially to those at the top with the power to change things from the top down. And this was really important to involve the whole sector and look at the issue of power, because power really is at the heart of a lot of this. So now, since 2022, what we have in place is a resource-rich website, safetocreate.ie. This includes all kinds of information, toolkits, sample templates, policies. It's all up there for you to use, for you to access. We also, so we also have counselling for victims and access to legal advice provided by the wonderful Mind and Creative Minds. We have a suite of training programs that have been developed specifically for the arts and creative sectors. We have a code of behaviour, a report and support system, which is an anonymous reporting tool. And we are also rolling out further research to examine the prevalence and impact of harmful behaviours in the sector. So just to take a quick look at the website, just to give you a sense of what it looks like, we've divided it up so it's very clearly for artists, individual artists and arts workers. And then we have a section that's specifically for organisations. So you can go on there and it guides you to the information that you're looking for really clearly. And then our counselling service, Mind and Creative Minds, obviously is provided by the wonderful folks here, and that is a 24-hour free wellbeing programme. Any artist or arts worker or creative worker can give them a call 24 hours a day. You can avail of up to 12 free sessions. Not many people knew about this before we started putting it in action. So it's a really valuable service. You can call them up if you have experienced harmful behaviour, if you've witnessed harmful behaviour, or if you yourself have perpetrated harmful behaviour and you don't know what to do about it. They're there for you all the time. And so just briefly to chat about our training modules. So we have a huge range of different training options available. The first we've developed in partnership with Screen Ireland, and these are fantastic because they're 3 online self-led modules. Each one takes about an hour each. You can sign up, you just register, complete them in your own time, and there are 3 modules in addressing unconscious bias, tackling bullying and harassment, and being an active bystander. And they're kind of intended like a first aid certificate, so you're covered for 3 years. Once you do them once, you're covered for 3 years. We also are rolling out, we're rolling out in-person active bystander training sessions with the amazing Professor Louise Crowley and Alwyn Dole. We've travelled all over the country with these and will continue to do so in the years to come. We've partnered with the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre on understanding the impact of sexual violence. We've been rolling out disability awareness training, effective conflict management, introduction to staged intimacy for performance, and just recently we've launched a suite of board-specific training workshops. This is in partnership with Board Match, and it includes different kinds of training. So those for current trustees, for prospective trustees, for managers who are dealing with boards, and also for artists who are interested in becoming board members. So just briefly to talk about our code of behaviour. So the code of behaviour is intended as a robust standard for the entire industry. So everything in this is actually already in legislation, it's important to point out. But what we're trying to do with it is make it easier and clearer and simpler for you as a sector to implement in your day-to-day work. And it's intended for organisations, for individuals, for artists, for arts workers. It covers everyone, including volunteers, board members, interns, everyone who comes into contact in employment with the sector. So just to give you a sample, we have over 200 signatories to date. And this is just an example of some of the signatories we have on board so far. There's a full list on our website, you can have a look. But it includes some of our most prominent cultural institutions, but also smaller production companies, both in film and theatre and across the board. And then finally, we are rolling out further research as part of Recommendation 5 of the Speak Up report. Recently, we launched a report called Influencing Change. This came out of talking to people out on the road, saying that we need to be talking to leaders, we need to be talking to people who are at the top. And so we conducted research to basically identify the barriers that they are finding to implementing these changes in their workplaces. And that's available to download from our website. And then shortly, we will be, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be launching quite a substantial piece of research we've been rolling out for the last 12 months on exploring marginalised voices in Ireland's arts and creative sectors. And this has been focusing on the experiences of artists who are disabled, LGBTQIA+, and those from ethnically or racially minoritized backgrounds. It was identified in the Speak Up report that we didn't gather sufficient data on these individuals. So this has been a really lengthy, involved process where we've consulted directly with the communities that we're speaking to. So just briefly to give you a summary of where we are at to date. By the end of last year, we had recorded more than 10,000 direct engagements. The Safe to Create partners have now implemented a suite of compliance guidelines and special conditions of funding for all bodies and companies in receipt of public subsidy. So in order to receive your subsidy, you have to have signed up to the Safe to Create Code of Behaviour and done the online training programmes. We have over 200 signatories, which I mentioned, over 14,000 visits to our website, and we last June launched and developed the report and support tool, which I mentioned earlier. And this is available for anyone who wants to report something either that they've experienced or they've witnessed. And we're essentially using it as a kind of a heat map to look at what's happening on the ground, see where the problems are, and that gives us the power and the information to be able to go in and say, in this sector, we have this particular issue of bullying or harassment, what are we going to do about it? So it helps us to see what's actually happening in real time. And then finally, we've been out on the road for the last year and a half across the country, doing presentations, trainings, having conversations, and just talking to the sector to find out what exactly is going on, what are the issues people are having, how can we help? And that's a really crucial part of this program. It's collaborative. We're a very small team of individuals who are trying to put this toolkit in place for you all to be able to use on the ground in your work. But without the conversations with the sector, the change, the culture change that we need, it can't happen. So these conversations are everything. So we really would encourage you to get in touch with us. We need to keep speaking to you. You need to keep speaking to us. And we all need to speak to our peers about this work and about the language that we're picking up along the way so that we can make that culture shift a reality. There's no point in doing a tick box exercise with this. It's too important. So the conversation, the dialogue is everything for us. So just briefly to leave you with some testimonials, if we could go back one slide, thank you. So just some testimonials from folks who have engaged with our work to date. Someone said it was profoundly changing and shaping who and how we are in the industry. A step forward for the arts sector in general was another quote. Reference to our code of behaviour, that widespread buy-in to its principles of dignity, respect and decency are crucial. It's been referred to as a valuable and user-friendly resource. And it's also been said that the programme is paramount in creating safe environments for artists and arts workers. So we can go to the next slide. Thank you so much for listening to me. So this is the website. If you've not seen the work that we're doing, if you've not looked at our website, please do go on, have a look. If there are gaps and you would like us to address things we're not currently addressing, please do get in touch. You can contact us on info@safetocreate.ie. And if you have any concerns, any issues, we are genuinely an open door. As I said, the dialogue is crucial for any of this work to actually embed and to happen. So please stay in touch. And as I said, we also have a stand at the back of the room. There's posters, there's trust statements, there's bookmarks, there's various bits and pieces. Our codes of behaviour are there as well, especially if you work in an organisation. Pick one of those up, have a read, and take the stuff home with you and give us a call if you want to have a chat about any of it. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening.